the sun blazing overhead is no deterrent. These volunteers are working to make Black Forest safer from flooding.
At my age and my experience, I got to give back. You can't just osmose through life.
And help new life grow.
We get them real dirty.
They're with the organization Rocky Mountain Field Institute. It's a nonprofit group that finds out what the land needs, then does the dirty work.
We're going to want to create a gradual berm up and a gradual berm down.
Workers are using these burnt logs as log erosion barriers. They're held in place with smaller branches. This will help slow down floodwaters.
The water's going to come, and there's really not a lot we can do about that, but what we can do is we can prevent some of that sediment from getting downstream.
It'll also help water sink into the burnt ground.
Really revegetating the area is one of the best way to keep that soil in place.
Yeah, good experience. You're outside. You're doing something good.
Even though it's hard work,
So it'll take us a whole day just to do this one area.
volunteers say it's well worth the effort.
Well, if you do that for someone else, then they'll help you when you need it too.
In Black Forest, Rana Novini, KRDO News Channel 13.
Hip surgery can include, of course, a painful recovery, but a Colorado Springs doctor says it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah, in fact, you can be on your feet walking the day of the surgery. Samantha Anderson is finding out about a new way of doing hip replacements that's growing in popularity right here in southern Colorado. Sam?
Well, James and Heather, it's called Antrim hip replacement. It's a minimally invasive procedure, and only 4 doctors in Colorado perform this surgery. Now, photojournalist Jessica Hines and I followed one patient through his procedure at Memorial Hospital in Colorado Springs. Now, I do want to warn you, some of the video is graphic, so if you have children in the room or an uneasy stomach, I'd step away from the TV.
I'm going to get my hip replaced.
John Neff is 70 years old, and his hip has taken quite the beating over the years.
I ran my own business for 30 years in the Springs here, and closed up in December, and from climbing ladders and things, and it was really, really hurting, very painful.
After a little research and a recommendation from his heart doctor, Neff is getting anterior hip replacement.
Medical technology has just gone through the roof.
This new technique is less painful, has a faster recovery time, and a shorter hospital stay.
We've come a really long way.
And it's growing in popularity, not only in the United States, but around the world.
I actually have a visiting surgeon from Australia who wants to see how to do it.
Dr. Edward Shashevitz, or just Dr. Ed as Neff likes to call him, will be performing the surgery.
I'm not nervous at all.
And with a good luck kiss from his wife Donna, he's off to the OR.
Wish me luck.
If you look at the hip, you've got the ball and socket joint, and then the thigh bone here, so you basically cut here, remove the ball from the socket.
With just a 3-inch incision, Dr. Ed is able to maneuver around using this entire table full of tools. Within minutes, it's out with the old
And there's a plastic line remote right in there.
and in with the new. And with a few final twists and turns, an hour and a half later, Neff has a brand new hip and is on his feet walking.
It was a great feeling. It really was that I was able to go through PT, physical therapy, and go up those stairs.
Even the visiting surgeon is impressed with the quick recovery.
I looked at the Australian doctor and I says, "You believe it now?" He says, "Yeah."
Yeah, I think we're going to show these people that I can walk.
1 week later, Neff is walking around his house. He uses a walker and a cane during his physical therapy. But in a couple weeks, he'll be back on his own 2 feet.
It's unreal. Just unreal.
And this wasn't Neff's first surgery. He also had both his knees and his shoulder replaced. He told me he's gradually getting back in shape. Heather, back to you.
Wow, he's doing great. Thank you, Sam.
Voters made pot legal, but no money is coming into our state until those regulations are set.
And state lawmakers are nowhere near done with that. But under state law, people are already carrying pot and smoking it. Only on News Channel 13, Maria Garcia reports on pot problems in Colorado.
Weed, pot, Mary Jane, cannabis, ganja, wacky tobacco.
It's marijuana, but no matter what you call it, it's legal now.
21 and older can legally toke up in Colorado.
I think, as most people know, I didn't support the initiative, but you can't argue with the will of the voters, right? We are here in a democracy, and the sentiment was pretty clear.
There are catches. It's fine to do inside, But set foot outside, you're breaking the law. Marijuana cannot be sold commercially. So how will people get it? Here's one way. A marijuana club in Colorado Springs. It's member-based and hosts events that allow non-members if they pay a fee. Owners want to keep the name and location secret. But I talked with one customer on camera.
Having a great time, great vibe. Everybody just enjoying themselves. I mean, it's really great times. I mean, you see a lot of people, a lot of patients here. You hear a lot of good stories.
The club's volunteers and workers set up tables, prep containers, and wait. The plan is for people to donate marijuana that will be free, or they'll bring their own. Jeremy Miller has something to tell critics.
You can't really judge it until you get out there and actually see yourself. Until you actually go to the clubs, feel the vibes, and see what it's truly about, because there's a lot of patients and people that get together, and we don't mean no harm against anybody out here.
There are hundreds of issues the state must deal with when it comes to marijuana. A controversial one, recreational use is coming into conflict with owners of medical marijuana dispensaries. Pikes Peak Alternative Health and Wellness Center's CEO Tad Howard says his business is fighting to survive the ever-changing regulations and pays high taxes. His business could see hard times if recreational use isn't regulated soon.
We took a lot of heat in the beginning about how this is going to affect, where our location was, to schools, to churches, to this, that, the other. Recreational use now, well, guess what? Is that going to apply to everybody else? No.
Howard could lose patients to the clubs. He would be left with a smaller profit and still have to pay high taxes.
At this time, do we feel like we got picked on a little bit? Maybe so. Can we do anything about it? Probably not.
Then there's quality. This is one of the grow rooms at the dispensary. Howard says he grows a quality product. There are different flavors and edibles. Everything is tested. Most people growing at home won't have that ability.
What's the quality control going to be like? Is it going to be a tested product?
Howard isn't against recreational use. He just wants regulations for clubs and dispensaries to be fair.
It's a day-by-day struggle for, I think, everybody to figure out where the politicians and all interested parties stand.
Medical or recreational, the state legalized marijuana. The feds didn't. People at the marijuana club want the federal government to get over it.
I wish, most certainly that the federal government would just agree with us on this and pass this and let it just be legalized federally as well, because it's going to boom for the economy and for business as well for everybody.
Maria Garcia, KRDO, News Channel 13.
And there are some restrictions. People can only have 6 marijuana plants in their home.
So look out for those details. Was a person wearing a hat, sunglasses? What clothes did they have on? What kind of shoes were they wearing? Well, police say all of these different tips are helpful. There is one thing in particular that really helps to narrow things down and find the suspect, and that's the license plate.
The downtown camera video surveillance system has only been operational for a short time, but you can see how good the video is. It's extremely clear. And it's those clear images, that clear video, that's already helped to make arrests in the downtown area.
The food trucks are now open for business. From now on, you can come to a food truck like this one and get a quick bite to eat for just a few bucks.
Oh, it's great. The more the better.
But it's not just about the food you're getting or the money they're making. It's about revitalizing the downtown area.
Colorado Senate is discussing the driving while stoned bill today. Now, this kind of bill has failed 3 other times, and supporters of marijuana's legalization hope this one doesn't pass. They just don't agree with the language. They say that 5 nanograms of THC in the blood is just too low to be considered too high to drive. One thing's for sure, though, supporters and detractors both say if you feel too high to drive, you shouldn't get behind the wheel.
It's clear now, and let me show you what we're looking at, what some of this flooding caused. There is about 3 feet. You can see the mark there at the top of the fence. That's how high the water went. It was full of ash and debris, and we can see that it really just caked everything. Let's take you to some video of what it looked like earlier. Very impressive. We've officially graduated from sprinkles to big, fat, heavy raindrops. Oh, in fact, yep, there it is. Let's have Jessica pan over. And so we can see how heavy it's raining here in Manitou Springs. As you said, people are hoping for the best and preparing for the worst. In fact, we have seen tourists kind of try and still look around between the showers. It's not looking great now. In fact, the showers really picking up in Manitou Springs.
That's right. I spoke with a business owner who's also a task force member. She's seen the findings and says we need to tackle this problem as soon as possible.
Back here with me, I want to show you a little bit of what this debris looks like. Mostly it seems to be soot that came from the burn zone, as you can see here, and it's kind of caked together. It seems almost as a sheet, and it's not dirt. It's all really just soot, and it looks almost like sand in person when you are seeing it all, taking it all in. KRDO News Channel 13 will remain in the area and continue tracking possibilities of flash flooding as well as the debris that has taken over the area because of it. Reporting live from Black Forest, Maria Garcia, KRDO News Channel 13.